My name's Elizabeth, and I'm your MC for this evening. And I'll just be telling you a bit of information about the different sections that are coming up this evening. And we're aiming to end at 10 o'clock, but 10:15, Matt has said to me, is the last moment when we must stop. But we'll have a nice time in between now and then. Okay, I just want to say thanks to Lucy Skye. Here she's playing her harp. And she kept us kind of, listening to this beautiful music. Lucy is going to be playing again for us. When are you playing, Lucy? Further down, aren't you? Around, after she's done a bit of talking. So you're doing two pieces, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So thank you. Thanks. Okay, right. So we're here tonight. This is the culture night of the Mariah Edgeworth Festival, and it's the 29th festival. But the thing is, I said to myself, something not right here, because it's not my 29th festival. This is my first festival. So I'm very green and very new, but and I sort of opened my mouth and said I'll do a bit of emceeing, so I got the job. So anyway, we see how it goes. But it's the 29th Mariah Edgeworth Festival, so that's an amazing record for all the committee, and they're lovely people, and they work very hard to make this event come to fruition. So I've got some sponsors to thank as well, and one of them is the Creative Longford Arts Services, and then another one is Longford Tourism, and the last one is Poetry Ireland. Just to say thank you to those sponsors for helping the committee to make this festival come into your lives and to create this community event, which is over a weekend, which is so beautiful. And then, of course, the gods are always with them, or as they say, Mariah Edgeworth is always looking down on them and giving them nice weather. So tomorrow, fingers crossed for nice weather. So just to say thank you very much for your sponsorship for all through the years. Absolutely fantastic. Now there are also local sponsors who've helped, and there's a list of them on display. Now, Matt, where is that list?
It's down in the
Oh, good. I'm just checking that you know where it is. So it's on the door, out on the outside. So if you go out during the break or any time, you can go now if you want to have a look at the sponsors. There's a list there. It's a very nice poster. Yeah. Okay, so that's that little job done. Right, so I'm going to introduce now Victoria Kennefick. All right, I've met Victoria this afternoon, and she's going to come up in a wee few minutes. She was the person who took in all the poetry entrance, and she was adjudicating them and reading them, and she'll tell you in a few minutes what her response was to that experience. So she's going to come up after me and announce the prize winners and talk a little bit about the poetry that she received and what it was like to be an adjudicator. Because the first prize winner isn't here this evening, Victoria is going to read his poem. Is that right? Okay. And then there's another gentleman, Scott Elder. Where's Scott? Ah, Scott, you're going to read your highly commended poem. Yeah? Brilliant. Lovely. So the poetry competition brought in about 380 entrants. Now that's amazing, isn't it? And the committee were saying to me, of course I wouldn't have a clue, but said that was unprecedented in all the years they've been running the festival. They had a huge response, probably due to a little bit of help from social media, which was Janine, yes, she told me, she's not here, so that's great. So Janine said not to say anything, but I think she should be given credit for her work, doesn't she? Didn't she, Matt? Lovely, thanks. The open mic was last night up in Co-works, is that right? This is Claire, you're the manager?
Part of the committee in Co-works.
Part of the committee at Co-works, which is up in the town, and it's like a remote work, a former Ulster Bank building which has been redesigned, and it's absolutely beautiful, and people go into work there, don't they? And network. Thanks, Claire. But there were about 100 people there last night.
Perfect.
Yeah, there were an awful lot. And all I could see really was a lot of enthusiasm from them. They were absolutely loving being there and were very thankful. And I think some of them went to the pub afterwards with the committee members to celebrate. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's about it. And then Victoria, after you've done the poems and Scott has read his, you'll be presenting some of your own work. Is that okay? So would you like to... A little bit.
No.
Right. So would you like to come up, Victoria? Thanks. So give a clap for Victoria.
Good evening, everyone, and what a beautiful evening it is. And Mariah Edgeworth is definitely smiling down on us, not only with the beautiful weather, but with the Aurora Borealis last night as well. She really outdid herself, so I wonder what 30 years of the festival will bring next year. It's such a testament to the committee and to all of the people in Edgeworthstown that 29 years there has been this magnificent celebration of Mariah Edgeworth, one of the most significant writers of the 18th century in this country, and a huge influence on so many others across the world, in fact. And I had a wonderful chat with Matt earlier about her influence and her, I suppose, her international reach from such a beautiful, small, peaceful place to have that kind of impact. And that just reminds us, I suppose, of how important and necessary literature is. So a huge congratulations to all the committee for a really special festival. We had a gorgeous workshop here this morning with really, really lovely poets. And I had the absolute pleasure of judging, which is perhaps not the correct word, but observing the poetry stylings of so many, over 300 competitors, who, it's an extraordinary thing to do, actually, to get this influx of words from people from all over the country and indeed all over the world. And it's like this secret snapshot of what everyone's thinking in their bedrooms, secretly and silently. And it feels like such an enormous privilege to have that, I suppose, bird's eye view of what's happening in writing and in people's lives. So there were so many different poems about nature, obviously about war and conflict, about identity, about old age, about sickness, and all of, I suppose, the significant moments that we experience as we go through life. So the poems that I selected are kind of, I suppose, a selection of those experiences, and it's a very personal thing. I've worked with judges, co-judging competitions before, and everyone has their own process. And for me, what happens is I read them all, and you can't help but be drawn to certain poems, and it's very, very subjective, as you can imagine. And I find myself when I'm like in the supermarket or brushing my teeth or going for a walk, lines from certain poems will come back to me and I'll go, oh, that's something. And over time, the ones that stay with me are the ones that eventually I realize are certainly the ones that stood out for me. And it is a very subjective business. So these are the poems that resonated with me at this time, and they're so beautifully written, so fascinatingly constructed, so original, so refreshing, so brave, and so unexpected. And I'm just going to announce the winners, and then I have the great pleasure of reading the winning poem, and then I will invite Scott to read his wonderful poem. It really is an extraordinary piece. So the winners are, will I start from the bottom? I don't know, I'll start from the bottom. Christian Ward for Edward Monk Paints the Screen, Michael Martin, God is Weary, Roisin N, I Bird, and then the highly commendeds are Ewan Glass for Ilium, Steph Ellen Feeney, The Scene, and Scott Elder, Your Neighbour Will Catch You. Steph actually sent a beautiful letter saying that she couldn't make it and really appreciated being present here in this way. So I'm going to read the winning poem, Edvard Munch Paints the Screen by Christian Ward. It is spring. and snow is falling inside the house. The face on the canvas cannot taste the snowflakes, content only to unleash its howl on an unsuspecting audience. The face on the canvas is misshapen like my grief, a badly stretched bicycle seat, a light bulb in the final moments before its detonation, a pie crust stretched beyond the boundaries of the pan. While my sister turns to ash inside the asylum, these metaphors are as empty as the larder of my chest. While my sister turns to ash, the sky taunts me with its pleasure, a palette of tinted red, orange, and yellow. It is spring and snow is falling inside the house. Look how the face on the canvas will sport a shovel of a smirk once I'm buried in an icy grave. The sky dancing like flames, a poem in full fire. So it is my great pleasure to invite Scott onto the stage to recite his wonderful poem. Please welcome him.
This one is called Your Neighbor Will Catch You. The way is not clear. One shadow, sibling of another. Each thought, stillborn. Each father, a drop of rain. Your mother, Dolor. You carefully tread on the sodden loam, feeling for warmth. Am I here? Is someone home? Is this the road to Camden Town? Is this and nothing more? They're swirling in half-light. If I put in my thumb, would I pull out a plum, or is there something more? Does the devil wear cufflinks or pearls? Seen from above, the movement is clockwise. From here, someone is watching. Her palm open and turned to the sky. She's smiling. She'll catch you. She's wearing pearls.
Thank you so much, Scott, and congratulations. It's a very special poem. I will read a very tiny selection of poems that are very short, I promise. So this first poem, I think, is very relevant this evening. It's probably my attempt at a happy poem, which is more difficult than you can imagine to write. But it's about swings. And since we are so close to the playground, and it was so lovely to see all the kids out enjoying themselves, it is my attempt, I suppose, to try and capture that unbridled joy. Swing. Push me higher until I'm all stomach, until my eyes are like that fist of muscle, tight and hungry. Fill me with green fields for sky. Push me higher until I'm all fingertips, feeling to the top, to the roof of our house, calling, Mother, watch. And she will, from the kitchen window, rinsing lettuce in the sink. Push me higher until I'm giddy from kicking clouds and birds, burning my shoes off the sun. Just push me. The ropes vibrate. I barely hold them. Let them sing. When I touch the ground again, my legs feel like running. And was anyone here ever in a Corpus Christi procession? Yes. Okay. Do they have one here actually? No. Did they? Yes. I think they're becoming less common. But where I grew up in Shanagarry in East Cork, and Ballycotton, our rival village, they were the people who had the Corpus Christi procession. Admittedly, a more picturesque space. Don't tell anyone I said that, because I will be killed. But beautiful, if you're familiar with Ballycotton, it's on the cliffs and overlooking the ocean, and it's a really special place. But I was a very earnest communicant. So I was going to say marched. I marched in the Corpus Christi procession the year that I made my communion, and we practiced for months, it felt like, beforehand. And I remember so distinctly how very seriously I took it, as I indeed took everything very seriously. Corpus Christi procession. That May, I collected rose heads to peel off their petals and lay them deep in my new wicker basket lined with linen. Dressed in white, God's little bride, I plucked out each petal and kissed it. The communion wafer still stuck to my palate. Winding up and down the faithful hills of Ballycotton, I festooned the path for priests to trample all the petals brown. I had been so careful not to bruise them with my lips. Other girls sniggered behind cupped hands, whispered through lacy fingers as my petals rushed to the ground to die. She's really kissing them. And I was. I went to an all-girls Catholic convent school. I may have some people who have had similar experiences in the room, and usually there is a boys' school right next door, but not in my case. The school in the next village had a boys and girls school right next door to each other, and they referred to our school as the Virgin Megastore. Make of that what you will. So rather than have any sort of intentions around real, actual, living human boys, I became obsessed with the men of my history books, particularly Michael Collins, my mom being from West Cork, and Michael Collins, a historical hottie, I think we can agree. Roger Casement, very unavailable for multiple reasons, and many others. So this is a poem a little bit about that. Cork Schoolgirl considers the GPO Dublin 2016. I'm standing outside the GPO in my school uniform, which isn't ideal. My uniform is the colour of bull's blood. In this year, I am 16, a pleasing symmetry because I love history. Have I told you that? It is mine, so I carry it in my rucksack. I love all the men of history sacrificing themselves for Ireland, for me, these rebel Jesuses. I put my finger in the building's bullet holes, poke around in its wounds. I wonder if they feel it, those boys. I hope they do. Their blooming faces pressed flat in the pages of my books. I lick the wall as if it were a stamp. It tastes of bones, this smelly city, of those boys in uniforms. Theirs bloody too. I put my lips to the pillar. I want to kiss them all, and I do. I kiss all those boys goodbye. So I'm just going to read 2 short poems from my new book, Stripey Babies, that I have, which was published on the 29th of February. And it is a larger book than my first one, but still stripey. So it deals with a lot of different concerns, but I'm just going to read 2 short ones, as I say. And this poem is about the time when I decided to purchase a Super King bed for my room. My previous bed having been a picnic spot, a trampoline, a pirate ship for my own daughter during COVID, and I thought I deserved, after all of that, an enormous bed. And if you have seen a Super King bed in a domestic setting, it's alarmingly huge. And I hadn't quite contemplated its vastness until it arrived like a giant slab of ice just placed in my bedroom. And I stood beside it, I'll never forget it. And this is what came into my head looking at this vast, vast bed. I love it now, obviously. Super King. There is a corpse on our bed. It is Jesus, down from the cross. The blood spattered across his rippling torso, the crown of thorns ripping the pillow slip and the flesh on his forehead. I don't know why he is here, with that heart exposed, his eyes closed. He is dead, I think. But you know how men can be. They say one thing, and the next thing you know, they're on the road showing off their open wounds, while back at home, the women weep. It's naughty, naughty poem. Thank you. So as a poet, and I kind of began, I suppose, my very hopefully short enough reading with the notion of not taking oneself too seriously. And that is something that I grapple with and explore in my work. And so this is near the end of a book which is serious because life is serious, but equally ridiculous because life is ridiculous. And no one understood that better than Mariah Edgeworth in many respects. So thank you so much for your attention, being such a gorgeous audience. And there's such beautiful music and short stories awaiting you after I eventually get off the stage, which is very soon. And I'd just like to thank the committee again for the invitation and the opportunity to judge the poems and also to be here in Edgeworthstown, which is a really beautiful and special place. So thank you so much for the beautiful evening that we had in the museum as well. It was a really, really special time. Victoria reenacts the Stations of the Cross, don't we all? 1. Victoria is condemned to the truth. There is no way around it. 2. She is made to bear this cross and develops TMJ. 3. Victoria falls the first time down the stairs, spilling coffee all over herself. 4. She tells her mother about her marriage, her broken marriage. 5. Victoria's family and friends are made to bear the cross by listening to her process this information. They are sainted. 6. Her sister wipes her face and tells her to brush her teeth and be in bed by 10 p.m. She does not drink enough water. 7. Victoria falls the second time, the stairs again, I swear, and must go to A&E. She is fine. The doctor was fine. 8. She goes for dinner with the girls and cries twice. They do not roll their eyes. 9. Victoria falls the third time. This is getting ridiculous. 10. She's scared to get rid of the male clothes and old baby clothes stuffed secretly into drawers to say goodbye to an imagined life. Instead, she buys herself new clothes in sizes she does not approve of. They fall out of the wardrobe like dead bodies. 11. Victoria is nailed to the cross, or rather, she nails herself. 12. She dies many times over. This is the truth, you see. 13. Victoria takes herself down from the cross. 14. She lies on her bed, alone, and sighs. In 3 days, she will take up Pilates.
Thanks very much, Victoria. That was really brilliant. There was a great sense of humour there. And the poems are really you. They are, which I think is great. It's like you've come to that stage in your writing. You probably have been there for a while, where you and your writing is like that, you know what I mean? It's really lovely. You have a quirky way of looking at things. So it's brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, okay. So, and what we're going to do next, let me check. Yeah. Oh, we're going to have Corinne. Is that right? You're going to sing? Yeah. Okay. So, so Corinne McCormack Bushell is here with us. Are you sorry, Corinne? Are you ready? Sorry, are you okay? Yes. So, and she's got Derek here with her, and Derek is going to accompany her on the keyboard. Derek Mahady, okay, and we're going to sing Gordon Namona and also The Lark in the Clear Air. And these songs, when I heard what they were going to sing, are so evocative of innocence, past times, beautiful tunes that really haunt you, you know. So when you hear them, I think you'll be haunted. So I hope you enjoy them. So here we have Corinne. Is that right, Corinne? Are you okay over there? Yeah. You don't need the mic? No. All right. I'm Derek. Thank you.
Tree.
Thank you very much, Corinne and Derek. That was lovely. Very reminiscent of my past, and just sitting there thinking I was a teenager and I used to sing those songs, do you know? I thought I was great. Did anybody else sing them? No? Yeah? Did you not? Okay. All right. So I'm going to introduce now Sheila Forsey. And Sheila was the lady who was the adjudicator for the short stories that were entered into the Edgeworth Festival short story competition. And they were, for this one, there were about 240 entrants or so. So that was another kind of large number that